take little bites. Don't feel like you have to do it all at once. And again, those little paths that take you off course a little bit are just meant to help you learn.
Hello, everyone. I am Melissa Forziat of Take the Doughnut, here to help you get inspiration and get donuts. I'm a motivational keynote speaker, and today I'm bringing you a Take the Doughnut interview with Candy Ramirez. Let me tell you a little bit about Candy. Candy is a distinguished senior director at JLL who brings her experience to leadership roles as the co-chair of both the Northwest Women's Business Network at JLL and the Women of CoreNet Northern California chapter. Welcome, Candy.
Hi, hello.
So good to have you here. I'm really excited to talk with you. Before we get into anything more serious, I have to ask, what's your favorite donut?
Well, it's kind of a loaded question because I haven't had a donut in like 2 years since I started my health journey.
Okay.
However, if I was to choose, I would choose a cronut
Hmm.
because it's a little bit of two things, like the best of both worlds. I love the flakiness that you get from, the part of it that happens to be part of a croissant, and then the sweetness that you get from the donut. It's kind of like many layers.
I am ashamed to say I haven't had a cronut yet.
Oops.
Can you
Oh
believe
my
it?
God. I would
I
have thought
don't
you
know.
tried every single donut there's out there.
You would think I've been working on it, but I've missed the cronut category, and this is a shame.
Well,
Okay,
want
so
to.
that's the go-to move for you if you were to eat a donut.
Correct.
Fair enough. Well, I said a little bit about you up front, but tell us more about yourself. What should we know about you?
Well, at JLL, I support our portfolio clients. That means there are companies that have locations all over the world. They're all the big ones, most of them tech companies, and I help them with the operations for their portfolio strategies. Um, and that's my job, but my passion is really inspiring women to connect, to be their better selves, both professionally and personally, and be able to provide opportunities for networking and engagement within the industry and beyond.
Amazing. What a wonderful mission that is to be your personal mission. So I know that, I've got donuts in my background. We're talking about taking the donut. What does it all mean? People might be asking. Let me reset this for folks who haven't seen a Take the Donut interview before. For me, take the donut is another way to say carpe diem. It comes from this strange thing that happened in college where I left an actual donut on a table, but that became an object lesson for me in what it looks like to leave an opportunity behind. So I don't want to do that anymore. I want to take the donut. So this conversation is all about going after what you want in life, going after goals, opportunities, and what does that actually look like day to day for those of us who are doing it? So, Candy, let me ask you this. How are you with going after goals? What is that process like for you?
I am really a planner, and so goals are kind of my thing. I really set small goals that end up leading to the larger goals. And sometimes the path is not always straight. The path can go left or right in any given moment. But it ends up getting to that ultimate point at that time. I love to make lists a lot of times in my head. So it's very jumbled up in here sometimes. I'm working on being better at delegating so that way I can be a little bit more focused on some of those goals. But I really like to challenge myself and see what I can do. And sometimes, fear creeps in and there's that little voice that's like, you can't really do it. You're not going to make it. And I just like to beat it down and say, no, I'm going to do it. I'm getting there. This is my ultimate challenge. And I just keep pushing forward until I get to it.
Amazing. I will also say, as considering the fact that we together are planning for a keynote, I can attest to how good you are with staying on top of goals and benchmarks. Like maybe the best I've seen in years. We'll see.
Aw.
It's very impressive. But it's good to hear that that's like the big picture for you. So when you have something really big that you're going after, something you know is going to take a lot of time, a lot of effort, what keeps you motivated in that process?
I really enjoy the journey to get there. You know, I do a lot of events, with all my passion projects. I also have, other work projects, right? And finally you get there, you're done. Okay, wonderful. You can move on. But actually taking the time, the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into that the whole time really makes it so much more worthwhile to actually getting to that. Personally, I've completed my goal of losing 120 pounds, and it took a while and a lot of work, but I did it. And there were some hiccups along the way, but I stuck to it. And I think that when you just keep on putting one foot in front of the other, you're eventually going to get there. And I think that whole journey is so fulfilling.
And congratulations, what a huge accomplishment to be at this point. So, and here we are on a Take the Doughnut interview.
It's virtual, so it's okay. No calories.
That's it's a metaphor. That's the great. There's no calories in a metaphor. It's so good. So okay. So the bigger the better, really, it sounds like for you.
Yeah.
Often I find when I'm going after a big goal or a big opportunity, challenges come up, obstacles come in our way. Maybe you find the same thing. I'm curious for you if there's a particular brand of challenge that just keeps coming up over and over again. Like no matter what it is you're doing, this is going to be your Achilles heel.
Imposter syndrome. I mean, there's always that, like I said, that little voice. It's like, they're not going to believe you. No one's going to care, what you are passionate about and what your vision is. No one else is going to see. And I got to beat it down. I got to say, shut up, move aside, because I don't care. I'm going to keep on moving forward. I don't think anyone, male or female, even though the men won't want to admit it, um, doesn't have that in some sort of way. But it's about how we push it aside and push through so that way we can continue moving forward in what we're trying to do, because that's always going to end up coming up. And as much as I want to ignore it, it's still going to be there, but it's how I conquer it and say, neener, neener, I did it anyways.
Very relatable. I think probably a lot of people nodded their heads the second you said imposter syndrome. So I appreciate that you expanded on that and gave us an inside look on what that
Yeah.
is for you. And when you think back on your life, and this could be a personal answer or a professional answer, whatever comes up for you, what would you say is the biggest donut you've ever taken?
So when I started my career in commercial real estate 22 years ago, I know I only lived 22, but um, I fell into commercial real estate. I was, it was during .com time and everybody was out on the market. And, like many people, I had my resume out with a lot of different headhunters out there, and got a random call that a firm, a commercial real estate firm, needed a temp admin. And so I went in, got the job, started the next day. And that was the Staubach company, owned by Roger Staubach of the Dallas Cowboys. And it was the longest temp job ever. I'm still here. And they were a tenant rep only firm. So for those who do not know, That means that we provided brokerage services for companies looking for offices throughout the Bay Area. And we didn't have a lot of other services, lease administration, um, property management, facilities, all those other things that go into making an office run efficiently. And in 2008, we merged with JLL, which is a global real estate firm for commercial users. And they provide all of this. And so, by the time we had joined with them, I had already mastered being an admin. I knew how to do everything. I ran it all. I trained people, all that stuff. And so being in this small firm, I either had to kill my boss or I had to be a broker. Those are like my only two options for growth. And when we joined with this large firm that had all these other opportunities, all these other avenues, my eyes were wide open and I learned so much. And I got to take the chance to interview with all these different groups where my skills would translate accordingly. And there are pros and cons to everything. And while I liked some of the pros and we're okay with some of the cons with all the opportunities that were out there, like I tell everybody when you're looking for something new and a transition in your life, you got to determine what is most important to you at that time because it can change throughout your life where you are in your life cycle. And for me, it was the people that I worked with. They were my family. I knew the wives, I knew the kids. They had grown up together over the years. And I wanted to be with my people. Like, I love them. And so I kind of looked around my office and looked at what I do on a regular basis. And in our world, the clients that I support are led by brokers. And brokers are busy doing a transaction, a lease over here, a disposition over here. And they don't really have the bandwidth to really provide those important clients level setting operations, right? Standardizing processes throughout different markets, technology, tapping into all the resources that our firm provides, and all of that. They're too busy getting the work done. And I was supporting those brokers on those accounts. So I was already making those connections with the clients at the same time. They knew they could reach out to me and I could get them what they needed while the broker's busy doing their deal. So I went to the head of our office and I said, look, I see a need in our office. We need somebody that is going to be that person to be managing the operations for these clients. The brokers don't have the bandwidth or the time. The admins have all these other brokers to be dealing with and all the standard admin tasks that you need to do. And they don't have the ability to do that. And these clients need that. They deserve that. And I'm that person. And so he said, okay, write the job description. So I did, and I got the job.
Wow. It's so that was making me think of a situation in my own professional career that was kind of like that, where you found a need,
Yeah.
you made the case for it, um, and you found your way to the career advancement that you wanted. You built
Yeah.
the path, and
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't know you can do that, and
For
this is
sure.
really inspiring to hear.
I mean, I always say a job didn't just poof out of the air. A job is because there's a need.
Hmm.
And if you can find a need and something that, matches your skills, something that you're passionate about, even better.
Hmm. Mm. Okay, this is wonderful. Well, I'm curious what you have going on now. Is there a donut that you're taking now, something in progress for you?
Uh, yes. Personally, like I said, I'm on this health journey. I have conquered two Spartan races with my son. And I am trying to get better at doing some of those obstacles. If you don't know, a Spartan race is running with obstacles. I did a
Hmm.
5K and a 10K last year. And I am not an athlete at all. So, being almost 50, being able to accomplish that was great for me. However, my ultimate goal that I'm looking towards is doing a 3 race in a year. So if you do 3 races in a year, um, of different lengths, then you get like a little piece of a pie. So here comes a pie with the donut. And they all merge together to make a bigger medal. So I've gotten two pieces because I did a 5K and a 10K. So in order to get a third, I need to do a 21K. So I'm working towards that. In order to get to that, I need to meet certain goals to lead up to it. And so right now, my goal is to be able to actually do the upper body tasks, the pulling yourself on the rope, the monkey bars, because right now, while I'm strong and I have the endurance, I kind of just go and do you have to do an extra 250-meter run or 50 burpees or whatever the punishment is if you don't complete an obstacle. And I just pass it. And so, today was my first, personal training with my coach to try and get that strength going. So that way, when I get to the point where I can do a 21K, I don't have to do extra running because I'm already going to be doing so much as it is. So that is right now like my key goal that I'm working on for myself. It's going to take some time to get there, and I'm not expecting that I'll be able to do that, even in a year. But little by little, taking those bites of that donut, and finally I'll take it all.
Amazing. What a tremendous goal to have. And you're well on your way, obviously. So the progress is there. Very exciting
Yeah.
to follow that journey.
Yes.
Well, for those who are listening to this and watching this, who have a donut of their own that they want to take, maybe it's still just an idea for them. Maybe they're partway there and they're trying to get the motivation to do it. Let's sprinkle some encouragement. And what would you say to those people?
I would say take little bites. Don't feel like you have to do it all at once. And again, those little paths that take you off course a little bit are just meant to help you learn something about yourself. You may need to adjust that goal in some form or fashion. But I think sometimes we put goals in front of us that you feel might be unattainable. And while they are lofty, it's the little steps that you take along the way to get there that are really going to be the things that are really important to you. And when you look back, it's not that ultimate goal, it's all the things that you did to get to it. So the little bites, take those little chunks, and then you can get to the ultimate goal at the end.
Great wisdom from a person who's about to do a 21K Spartan race. Is that right? Yep.
Yeah.
That's the words to live by.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So, for those who want to follow your journey and congratulate you when you've run the big race, where can we find you? Where can we follow you? What do you have going on that you want to tell us about, perhaps?
Sure. Well, you guys can all follow me on LinkedIn. I am very open about my journey, both professionally and personally. So if you want to see that, you can follow me there. And then if you want to come and meet me live or check out Melissa live, you're welcome to join us for the CoreNet Northern California chapter Women of CoreNet event, Take the Doughnut. We are going to be having this at NetApp's office in Santana Row on March 6th. If you want to register, you can just go to the CoreNet Northern California chapter site, or you can reach out to me on LinkedIn and I'll be happy to connect you. I'm all about making those connections because we're always better together.
Beautifully said. I can't wait to see anybody who shows up for this Take the Donut event on March 6th. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you're coming to this later, you missed it, but you should still reach out to Candy and get to know a little bit more about CoreNet because it sounds like a great event and a great group to be part of. And so everybody be sure to check out those resources. And if you liked hearing Candy's story, be sure to like and subscribe on this video because there's so many inspirational interviews still ahead this year. But in the meantime, Candy, thank you so much for taking some time and talking with all of us about going after opportunities and goals and what that looks like for you.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, everybody, you know what to do. Go out there, get inspiration, get donuts. Bye, everybody.